Good morning. This is gonna be a pretty interesting video, both to make and to post. And I want to start off by saying that I've had so many things running in my mind now for a couple of days. I've been having a really hard time to sleep. This is the third day in a row where I basically have had really tough time to sleep. I just lay there and my head is spinning. So, since you already saw the title of the video, I think you know where this is going. So I want to start out by giving a little bit of a backstory. Because you guys who have been following me have been watching me basically put everything into bodybuilding and everything into building my muscle. Now, I've been putting a lot of effort and a lot of work into social media as well. But that is something that is a little bit more, let's call it discreet, because even though people can see that I've been posting every day and I've been making videos for a really long time, as you watch the channel, it's not like you think, oh, he's so dedicated to making content. It's more so like, what is going on? What is it doing? So even though my biggest focus, or what has required the most effort from me, has been the social media and the YouTube channel for the last couple of years, but that is something that people watching probably don't think about. But it takes a lot of effort. Some people may know, some people may not know, some people may think about it, but let's just keep it at that. So when I was a kid, I had this vision of who I wanted to be as a grown-up. And I have this very, very clear, like almost like a movie scene that I imagine. And it is like, it's not even me, it's just a man, but it's like the ideal for the child version of me. So like watching at who is that I want to be. And I have this like movie scene where someone pulls up on a motorcycle, just puts the motorcycle and then walks into his crib. And this person is unfortunately a little bit taller than me, probably. But well, he just pulls up, he looks really badass, and he walks inside. And it is basically like a little bit more of a mysterious person, but the thing about him is that he has a motorcycle, he has tattoo, and he is muscular. And that is basically, I don't know why it's that specific picture, like someone pulling up on a motorcycle and taking off the helmet and walking inside, but for some reason, just that scene stuck with me. And when I grew up, it's not like my father told me that something was bad or good very typically. My father always made sure that I was to create my own opinion about things. I think that is not so common, but my father very rarely told me what to do. He always encouraged me to do what I wanted to do, and I'm very blessed in that way, even though some people will. Well, let's say like the other side of that coin is the fact that he didn't really guide my way that much. He didn't tell me that is bad and that is good. For him, it was important for me to learn on my own. So, which I did, of course. But if I was to ask him, hey, should I do this or should I do that? He would be like, should you do this or that? Like, what do you want to do? Like, and of course, he was always very supportive. So when I had periods in my life when I was playing Pokemon cards, for instance, well, he got involved with that, and he like made sure to like kind of pave the way, you know, understanding like whatever hobby I had. My father got that hobby too, and of course, as an adult, you're gonna learn faster than a kid. I find it kind of pathetic when adults says, "Oh, kids can learn so much faster." No, they don't. You're just lazy. That's my opinion. Some people may take offense. I never know what people are gonna take offense for, but well. My father had a stroke 2013, and that changed a lot of things. But before that, he was a wrestler growing up, and he was a really good wrestler. And I grew up with a story when my grandpa told the stories about my father. So my father never told the stories, but there were some pretty incredible stories. You know, those stories that makes you feel like I could never do what my father did, but I'm gonna do my very best, right? So it definitely, you know, got things going in my head that, well, father was amazing and I will do my very best, but I don't know if I will ever be able to do what he wanted to do. And in his opinion, he wasn't that much like for bodybuilding. Now he wasn't interested in it. He didn't have any like knowledge about it whatsoever. He was just a wrestler, and he was also known for being a wrestler, very good wrestler, but also with a good physique, because that came with being a wrestler. Obviously there are levels to like muscularity and physique wise that you will get if you focus on building your physique compared to, well, just getting it as a consequence, like a by-effect, the side effect, or whatever the word is, for being a good wrestler. But he wasn't so much about the physique. He was more so like, well, you should be skilled at something. You should have like a skill, and like the physique should be like a consequence. And that was like the way, he didn't state hard opinions, but for me, when he was like hinting towards something, I picked up immediately, because he never told me what to do. So whenever he like stated an opinion or something like that, I like caught on to it immediately, you know. And so I was kind of against working out in the gym, because that was not functional, you know, that was not functional muscle. And like I told you, he had a stroke 2013, and I was wrestling before that. I was never as good as my father, not even close, but I probably got the gift, but not the right circumstances, because I was actually pretty good considering the little amount of work I put in. But when he had a stroke, I stopped training, and I stopped training completely. And after a while, I was feeling like shit, but I wanted to feel better. I was not in the self-pity mode. I wasn't like, I deserve to be depressed, or like this happened to me and now. It was more so like I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to be disconnected from the world. I wanted to come back. And the way I found my way back was through the gym at the school, like Polhem in Lund. So that was the school I was in, and they had like a gym where you could train for free during the lunch or whatever time you wanted to, before, I think it was like before 4 p.m. or something. And I went there, and slowly I started feeling better. And my younger brother, 2 years younger than me, he had already like started a bit more serious than me. So after a while he gave me a training program, and it was a lot of squats, a lot of deadlifts, like the fundamentals with the barbell. And I improved pretty fast. And like there are levels to it. Some people go in and like you hear stories of people bench pressing like 100 kilos the first time. It wasn't that impressive, but still I could see like that I was very, very fast catching up to the other people, and the people who I started training with as well. I was like pulling ahead, like not super much, but I was like, it was clear that I had good circumstances. And I was like, yeah, I want to like lift in the gym, but I never want to be that guy who has no life and doesn't eat chicken and rice all the time. I want to be the guy that like just has the physique, but is like super cool about it and chill, and he can eat whatever he wants. And you know, like the ideal as a beginner. And I had this clear vision as well, that I wanted to be standing at the gas station pumping gas into my car, and I wanted like my arm to look super jacked as I was like standing. Now this camera has a little bit of a fisheye, so I may look a little bit thicker than I am. Genetically, I was very, very unblessed when it came to my arms specifically. Most other things grew pretty well. Well, slowly but steadily, as you get results when you put like effort into it, I wanted more, and I wanted more. So like first off, I was like, okay, I need to diet. So I started dieting, and I understood that calories, that's basically what it all boils down to. So I wasn't the guy like watching YouTube all the time, or TikTok or Instagram, and that barely was a thing back then. YouTube was a thing, but not the other two. So I didn't really know that much, because I didn't feel like I needed to know that much. All I needed to know was about calories, because hey, if you eat less calories than you burn, you're gonna lose weight, right? That's a very simple equation that I understood. And I was like, I don't need to know more, because just tracking my calories is so much work that I don't feel like I need to know more things about that. But slowly but steadily, okay, later on I understood I lost muscle during that diet, and I realized, okay, like mid diet, I realized, okay, time to eat some protein. And I got like more and more serious and like stricter and stricter. And for me, it was kind of against my idea, because my idea was like, I was never going to be one of those guys who ended up having no life and everything about the gym. I was never going to be one of those guys, right? That was that was my starting point, but I kind of failed miserably about that. The cool thing, but I got more and more serious, and I became that guy, like for sure. I for sure like said no to too many friends, too many opportunities, and I slowly like drifted away from a lot of my friends, and because I didn't join them on the shit that I wanted to do, because for me it felt annoying to bring the chicken and rice, and I knew they all were gonna talk about it. So yeah, like I became that person that I never thought that I wanted to be. And when I was 4 years in, that's when I decided to pull the trigger on the gear. And I did it, I actually will say that I think I did it in a very good way, because I did it very slowly. And basically when people get side effects and people like experience the crazy bad side of everything, that is typically when people try to do it too fast. And also genetics, of course. But I was probably 2 or 3 years in when I said, I'm gonna do what it takes to build the body that I want. And regardless what that is, even if it was to require steroids, I would do what it took to build the body that I want. But I'm never gonna need it, because I don't wanna look like Mr. Olympia, right? That was how I thought. I'm willing to do it if it's necessary, but I'm never gonna need it. And when I remember like exactly where I was walking in Lund, Sweden, where I was living, in my hometown actually. And I remember so specifically. And 1 year later than that, after that, or maybe 2, like I don't remember exactly, but I pulled the trigger on testosterone. And I had competed 4 times before that. So I competed as a natural 4 times, and the 4th time of those was actually today the best stage package that I ever brought. So I brought a better physique as a natural. I will probably throw out some pictures here. I brought better physique to the stage as a natural than I ever did as an enhanced, because I've completely fucked up or my coach. Like half of the time I had a coach, half of the time I did it on my own, but I never managed to bring a good package to stage because I over dieted pretty much every single time. And it was also a little bit of the hardcore mentality, right? You gotta push, you gotta suffer and all of that, which, you know, of course there is some suffering involved, but I was probably pushing it a little bit too far, because as a kid, when I was watching The Lion King as a kid, I wasn't just watching, I was Simba. When I was watching Hercules as a kid, I was Hercules, right? I was always like the main character. And for me, that was just the way it was, right? And I never questioned it. And I thought that everybody was doing the same thing. I thought that all the boys like watching Hercules felt like they were Hercules. So I was kind of surprised later on when it turned out that you're not supposed to think that highly of yourself, or you're not supposed to be that. You're supposed to be more like that. Never made sense to me. Why would you not want to be the hero of your life? It doesn't fucking make sense to me. Still doesn't actually, but I just understood like more and more that, hey, so I got more and more serious, and then I started social media as well, and there's a big overlap. So I did a couple of years, but I started social media probably 8 years ago, I think so. And I made my first YouTube video. It was a transformation video, 7 videos. Now I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. The model that I'm building myself, I see it like the Eiffel Tower with 3 levels. And the first fundamental level, that is my fitness. The second level is social media. And the third level will be the monetization, basically making money of it. And I said to myself, like, I don't know when, how many years ago or when, but that I'm gonna focus like I'm gonna build a very stable foundation in terms of the base, my fitness, which I feel like I have achieved. Now obviously like reality will kick in sooner or later and you realize like, oh shit, I can't just take a little bit of gear and turn into Mr. Olympia, right? But I was the hero for a long time, thinking that I could do anything. And I think that was a good mentality. Like some people are so scared of getting disappointed that they don't even believe in themselves. And for me, that's just fucking silly. No, go all in. And if you get disappointed, fucking handle it like a man, right? And I rather like have the law of attraction and the mindset and the manifestation on my side and increase my probability of succeeding than and then if I don't get really disappointed, then not putting everything into it just because afterwards I can say, oh, I didn't try my best. Or like, yeah, but what if I could probably have become Mr. Olympia, I just was never willing to take growth hormone. You know, I never wanted to be one of those guys. Now, I started very slowly. I started with like 250 milligrams testosterone per week, or maybe 300, I don't remember. Next cycle was like 400, and I came off and did a PCT and everything. So I did it all properly, and I increased my doses very slowly over time. And, you know, genetics, you figure out some things, you know, with time. And for me, what I figured out was that it's not easy for me to put on muscle. Now, of course, there are levels to it, and sometimes I feel like people are ignorant because I am actually, compared to the average man, I do have pretty good genetics, like compared to the average. But some people will be like comparing me with like other people on YouTube or Instagram and social media. And who are the people succeeding? Well, the most genetically gifted, of course. So if you put me and compare me with like other people who turned out to be bodybuilders, those who turn out to be bodybuilders, if someone can tell by looking at you that you're a bodybuilder, you got great fucking genetics right off. I will say that, okay? But I've come to the other end now where I feel like, okay, I could maybe put on a kilo or two more of muscle every year if I push everything really hard. But I'm at the point now where I have a little bit more of a bird perspective, like the overview. I can see everything from a little bit of a higher perspective, I would say. And to me, I want to go back to the original idea. I want to be the man pulling up on a motorcycle with a great physique, tattoos and all of that, but not being the guy who has to eat chicken and rice all the time. And I want to have a life, like so to speak, even though that's ridiculous because a lot of people are just spreading themselves thin, not getting good at anything and saying it's work-life balance. Well, if you're spending the same amount of time in the gym as a bodybuilder, but the bodybuilder actually puts in the real work, it's not a matter of being balanced or like whatever. It's a matter of like putting effort into it, right? And I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be a balanced person and stop putting like effort into what I do. I'm always gonna be a tryhard. Like, make no mistake. And that people never want to be a tryhard. Why? Because it hurts 10 times as much when you fall on your face in front of everyone. But at this point, I do not give a single fuck. Everyone has seen me fall on my face more times than you have probably ever done. Because I always went all in and I took the risk. And that's also one thing that I'm proud of that my father did. That he always allowed me to fail. He always allowed me, like I fell so many times, I did so many mistakes. But what I learned was that, hey, you move on, right? So I failed more than most people because my parents, like my dad, when I was in the pool as a kid, he watched me like almost like fucking drown, right? Be in the pool, like being there, and all the other parents were, oh, and my dad was like just sitting watching, you know, because he knew that I was never actually really gonna drown, but he wanted me to feel the experience, right? So I don't know for sure where I wanted to go with that, but my point is that I'm always going to be a tryhard. I'm just not going to be a tryhard in the same way now that I have been before. And now I want to go back to the idea that, hey, I want to be the guy at the gas station with a big bicep vein, looking cool, but I no longer want to be the guy with a hoodie in the gym that has his perfect fucking pre, intra, post drink, and he eats his chicken with like no barbecue sauce or ketchup. Like, no, I want to be living my life in my best body, not living my life to have the best body anymore, right? And I've been very, like, in terms of genetics of putting on muscle, like I told you, I'm not the most gifted. But I do have some gifts, okay? And I know you're not supposed to talk good about yourself, but two of my gifts. One is that I'm very symmetrical and I'm very well balanced in my physique. The other gift is that I have really, really good health. I'm just lucky with my health. And when I took the gear, I handled it so well. Like, I never really felt anything. I never felt the side effects. I never, like, for me, it was just, like, I just got the upside and not the downside. And with time, you know, I built up my doses, and I heard other people saying, oh, I'm running this, but it's too much, or I'm taking that and I can't handle it. And for me, it was like, what? Like, I barely feel anything. I'm just getting the upside. And of course, like, people, oh, you have fake gear. Okay, I've had fake gear for 7 fucking years. Fuck off, asshole. Like, trying to make it sound like I'm way too small to take that dose. Fuck off, bro. I'm tired of that shit. People are so ignorant. Sometimes it will actually, people say that hate always comes from below. In my experience, that's not always the case, because I have had a lot of guys ahead of me, a lot of guys that are bigger than me, talking shit to me or talking down to me. And I think that's because they see me maybe as a threat or something, maybe I'm coming up or whatever. But I've had a lot of people ahead of me also hating. So for me, that statement, hate always comes from below, has not been true. I've got hate from people with a lot better bodies and physiques than me. And they probably took less stuff than me. People who take less stuff than me than I've taken have been hating on me because I take more than them, and I still haven't got the same muscular development as them. Now I'm like I told you before, I have the pretty genetics, not the mass master genetics. So hey, you gotta work with what you got, like, regardless. But now I'm thinking, is this what I want to do? Do I want to push hard? Now, even though I can run 3 grams of gear and have perfect blood work, perfect blood pressure, I did a fucking heart scan, not once, not twice. I have done a heart scan 3 times within maybe 14 or 15 months, okay? And it looks really fucking good. Now, 2 of those I didn't plan. I just ended up in the hospital because of some bullshit. And people will be like, oh, you never know, like, there are things that you do not know. People who say that, it's because they don't know, okay? It's not a fucking mystery, okay? It's not a mystery. Like, people, like, if you can't make sense of it, that's on you, okay? But if everything looks good and there are no indication, it's not like I'm suddenly gonna have a heart attack. Like, I'm not at higher risk than anyone else if all of my blood markers and my blood pressure and my cardiovascular system is healthy. I'm not at higher risk than anyone else just because I'm taking gear. It's like the side effects. Like, okay, if you take gear and then you have shitty blood work and you have high blood pressure, then you're at higher risk. I was never in that position. But now I feel like, hey, should I be spending all of this money? Should I be putting all of my hard work into this when there is so little left for me to gain and so much work to put in? And also, like, regardless of if I can stay on 3 grams and be healthy, I'm lucky in that way. Is that what I want to do? Do I want to be the guy who's running 3 grams of gear and doesn't even look like a bodybuilder? No, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, do I want to lose my muscle? Of course not. I put 10 years into this shit. Okay, but I feel like I'm at the point now where I'm no longer going to be pushing that way. And I will be shifting my focus, because why should I run myself into the ground before I shift the focus, if I can shift the focus before I run myself into the ground? And if I can maintain my current physique or my body, or at least like 90% of it, and then just shift into longevity, I will be in such a good fucking position. Like, everything, like, thinking back, oh, I never wanted to be the guy with no life eating chicken and rice. Well, now I'm sitting here with all the benefits, and I no longer need to do that shit. I just need to do enough to maintain. And that seems like a much fucking better option to me. Okay, like, no longer having to take, like, going down to a, let's call it a bodybuilder's TRT. Okay, and not running all the compounds that I've been running. Like, I'm just gonna be honest and say, like, the main compounds for me that worked really well in terms of anabolics has been testosterone, boldenone, and tren. And trend is a very hit or miss, and that's also something that I realized, like, hey, maybe I'm taking trend, but somebody else will think like, oh, I will also take trend. And trend is hit or miss. Like, it's called divorce in a bottle for a reason, because people lose their shit, right? Now I'm just like I told you, I'm just lucky in that regard. I don't lose my shit, I feel great on it, but that no longer matters to me, because why would I be running such harsh compounds, even though everything looks good? So I don't believe it's that harsh for me, because my body obviously clears that shit very well. I still don't want to be the guy who's like running a bunch of trend and doesn't even look like a bodybuilder. I look like a fitness guy, not a bodybuilder, and that's just genetics. That's just the genetics I got. And hey, like, if you look at, people are so ignorant. If a person ends up in men's physique, classic physique, or open bodybuilding, or lightweight, or whichever, that is not because some guy took more gear than the other. That is because of genetics. In case you haven't figured that out, it's not like some guys are taking a bunch more and some guys are taking a bunch left. It's genetics. It's like how your body responds. And people have no idea how few people actually have the genetics to be like the hardcore bodybuilder. So I'm shifting my focus now, because hey, if I can carry on to 90% of my physique, and technically it's gonna look better, because if I burn a couple of kilos of fat, I think that I will have like the superhero body. Like, some people may hate me for saying that, because you're not supposed to believe in yourself, but I think I will have like the superhero body and be really freaking healthy if I just lose a couple of kilos. And now I'm shifting focus, like I said, and it's more like I started coaching more serious this year. Of course, every person in the fitness industry who has done a diet and got abs is a coach, right? So of course, I've always been a coach as well, even though maybe at periods I had 1 client, at periods I had 3 clients, at periods I had no clients. I started taking it serious this year. And the reward, when I see a father lose their entire belly over a season, and I see like them starting like taking pictures and being like super proud, and they have a family, and everyone in the family is like giving them compliments, like seeing their hard work, and like being able to see them be able to play with their kids again when they used to have no energy for that. Like, that is like 10 times more rewarding for me than putting in so much work into getting like 1 kilo of muscle more if I'm lucky. So yeah, I'm shifting my focus now, and I'm shifting my focus on towards coaching. That's what I'm doing, and that's where I feel like I got a lot more clients just as soon. Like, if I make a short form on Instagram, I will get DMs pretty fast. So I do fill up my spots pretty fast, because I am still at the point where I know some people will have like 50 clients. I know some people will have like 100 clients. And to me, that's like, how do you remember the names? How do you keep a good relationship with them? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. So I will be like slowly increasing how many clients I have. But right now I feel like I could take in a couple of more, but not that many. But still, that's what I want to do. I want to shift my focus towards helping other people more than just focus on my own body. Now, that does not mean that I will stop eating chicken and rice, or that I will stop going to the gym, but I will be more easy with it. If I feel tired one day, I'm not gonna be like pushing myself to go to the gym. I will just take a rest day and go to the gym the next day. Right? And if I feel like I really don't want to have that fucking chicken and rice, fuck it, I will make like pasta and meat sauce instead, right? Which is not even necessarily that bad. So I'm in the stage of my life where I felt like I already put in the effort when it came to the fitness. I reached probably around where my genetic limitations are. Now also, people don't understand how much time it takes, because pushing the gear the way I've done it now, I've only done for maybe 1 or 2 years. Okay, so and I realized that I need higher doses to grow like that. Unfortunately, right? That's not what I wanted to, but I realized that that's what's required for my body, and I happen to be very lucky with the health. So if I push the same, like if I continue to push, I don't know where the limit is. So I may only have 1 kilo left. I may have 0 kilos left. I may also have 5, but it doesn't matter now, because that's no longer what I want to do. I feel like I accomplished the physique and the fitness thing, and now I want to focus on health. And also, like, one thing that that is really hard for me to talk about, especially on camera. It is realizing like how many younger boys or men or kids, like how many people who actually look at me and see something that they want to become. Maybe a 15-year-old looks at me and see, oh, he's living as a YouTuber and he has a good physique and he's talking to girls on the channel or whatever. Like, I know people like are gonna go crazy of that because you're not supposed to speak goodly of yourself or highly. But I know that's the truth because people have been telling me for many years, and I've like tried to ignore that, because the moment I realized like, okay, people are like there are younger people looking at me like some kind of, maybe not ideal, but something that they want to strive towards. And am I really the person that one should try to strive towards if I'm not focusing on health and like being healthy and like cleaning up my shit? It's time for me to clean up my shit. And like, even though I'm not necessarily unhealthy doing what I do, a lot of kids, a lot of people would be if they tried, right? And also they have no patience. Like, I built up my doses over like, what is it, like 7 years or like 6 years or something like that. Like, who has the patience to do that? No one has it. I had it for some fucking miraculous way, but I was also in denial, and I was kind of fooled by the fitness industry to believe that, hey, you only need 500 milligrams of testosterone to build a huge physique. And I'm never gonna lie about that shit, even though I will probably be a little bit more careful about how I speak, realizing and accepting that there are people, younger men, that probably will take it the wrong way. So now I'm gonna focus on the monetization, and I have business things going. Like, I don't want to talk too much about it because people lose their shit immediately as they realize like things are going pretty well. But I'm not only living like I told you, I'm coaching now, okay? And coaching, if you get it going and you have clients who gets results and you can get more clients, that's actually a pretty good business model. So yeah, I'm focusing on the business now, monetization, and there are many things that I want to get into that will require me to build up some money to work with, and then to catch on to the opportunities. And I'm still like focusing, like I will need to maintain the lower base of the pyramid, like the Eiffel Tower, and I need to maintain, and I need to grow my social media even more, even though, hey, listen, like I threw the numbers on my calculator the other day, and on average I have 2,700 people watching my YouTube for 10 minutes on average. Like watching a YouTube like 10 minutes on average, 2,700, that is not bad. Like, I will give myself credit when it comes to that. But I still want to grow, and I want the channel to grow, and I've been on many podcasts, I've been on TV, I've been in like on news, I was in the documentary that people know about, not the new one with haters. I didn't watch that one, by the way. I stayed away from that. But I still want to grow. I want to grow, and I'm gonna focus more so on helping other people now and trying to be a good example. That's basically what it means. And that means that I will clean up my shit. Like, I was a small kid growing up. People don't know this, but for me, as a kid, there was one thing that I wanted more than everything else. And you will make sense of this when it comes to the motorcycle, the muscle, and the tattoos. I wanted to be a bad motherfucker. I wanted to be strong as fuck, right? I wanted to be the strongest fucking guy who could do the hardest shit, right? I wanted to be able to do hard shit that other people could not do. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be faster. I wanted to be smarter. And you're not supposed to compare yourself to anyone else but yourself. And I believe that's a healthy way. But in my, like the way I was, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to be better than other people. that's like, well, another thing, I may get a shitload of hate for this video, it doesn't matter. That's what I wanted, right? And it's okay if you want different things, but I wanted to be fucking great, and I still want to be fucking great, even though I have a little bit of a different perspective, because now it doesn't really matter that much for me what other people think or do, or if there are people better than me, of course. So I'm more fine with that now. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. So I will no longer be pushing the gear super hard, and I will be falling down. And basically my plan is to see how little gear can I take and maintain my body. So I will be shifting focus. Now when it comes to peptides, fucking love that shit, right? I mean, is there anything like there is nothing that requires you to put in so little that will get you so much back. Like, the diet is hard. The gym is hard for a lot of people. It was easy for me because I loved it, but the diet is still hard. A lot of things are so damn hard. Peptides are easy. Hey, you just need to pay a little bit of money and all of a sudden you get like so many benefits. It's insane, right? So I will, it's not like, oh, it's time to get healthy, I gotta stop using peptides. No, it's the other way around, bro. I gotta look into the longevity peptides. Like, I'm gonna learn more and more. Like, I already know more than average. Let's just say it that way. But I want to learn even more. And the peptides is actually one key ingredient now, the way I see it, to a long, healthy life. Even though if everything technically is working perfect within your body, you don't need the peptides, right? Because if your mitochondria is already healthy, you don't need to make it healthy. If you have a good metabolism, you don't need to make your metabolism. If you have good skin and your body uses protein good, you don't technically need the copper, even though it's fucking awesome. You know, so, but now I will be looking into my genetics, see, okay, where do I see the weak spots? And also I love growth hormone. And I will say that with a good conscience, because growth hormone is freaking great for sleep recovery. It recovers the entire body in a very good way. A peptide is very specific, right? Growth hormone is more wide. It covers a lot of area, covers a lot, right? So, but if I'm gonna take growth hormone, well, there are other peptides that seems to be a pretty good option because of some of the downsides of growth hormone, you know. It makes you look younger on the outside, but some aspects inside your body actually ages a little bit faster with growth hormone. But then there are other peptides that you can take to compensate for that. I mean, isn't it a freaking amazing world that we live in? Like, the world has never been better. There has never been more opportunity, and I'm here to fucking take it. And I will I've done a lot of hard things and I've done a lot of scary things, and I put some of them on social media because I wanted to be like, I wanted to prove myself a little bit. I was a small kid, right? I needed to I felt like I needed to prove myself. And when someone says, oh, I have nothing to prove, okay, that's kind of funny, because to a lot of people you look like a loser. Maybe you should try to prove some shit. No offense, right? But you get my point. I don't think it's bad to feel like you have to prove yourself. I actually think that it's a good thing most of the time that you feel like you need to prove yourself. But now I no longer feel like, hey, listen, I no longer need to sit in Bangkok and smoke a joint in front of everyone to feel like I'm some kind of fucking cool person. Who gives a shit about the fucking weed? Weed is for losers. Like, weed makes you stupid, it makes you slow, it makes you happy where you're slow, stupid, and it takes away your ambition because you feel good even though you shouldn't feel good, right? So like the weed is like a complete recipe for the opposite of what you want if you want to be successful. So I'm fucking done with that shit, right? Like, how many times, for me, I will just admit it. For me, it has been a problem, and it has been a weakness, and it has been when shit hits, when too many things at the same time hit me, which has happened pretty recently, and I feel like most people probably understood with my videos. Like, I got hit with one thing after another, like boom, 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 boom. And I became weak because I wanted to escape reality. Well, I'm done with that shit. I'm 30 years old. I can't be a fucking weak kid falling back into bad habits just because I feel like I need to escape reality. Fuck that shit. I'm done with that. It's time for me to be a grown-up. It's time for me to like take shit seriously, right? So yeah, that's the plan for now. And I have a lot of like I was talking with Seb yesterday on the phone, and he was like talking about the flashback, like how people were like talking about me on flashback and what people think and believe. And I realized like, hey, it's probably pretty good if they think that. You know, it's probably pretty damn good if they think that, and we can just let me build my shit in on my own without having them like realizing it. Because, you know, hey, I've told you guys already, like I'm coaching now, and like people still think that I'm not gonna say it like let's just say that I feel good with people underestimating me in some ways, and I feel like that's maybe somewhere where it should be. And also, like, me and Seb were like laughing because everybody knows I've been having a tough time with the haters. Everybody knows that shit, and that is also partially because of a personality trait called conscientiousness, and that basically means that I care a lot. Now, of course, that does not look cool. You're supposed to be easygoing and not care that much, but I'm a person who care a lot, and when you get hate, when you put everything and you try to do your best and you get hate for it, it hurts more than if you didn't try your best. But the fun thing was that we started laughing because it was like, okay, if someone is like giving me shit for my height, you know, arguing about 2 centimeters or whatever, that actually means that I'm probably doing pretty damn good if they don't have anything else to hit me with, right? If they are like grabbing onto every small thing that they can see, it's probably a good sign. It probably means like, hey, okay, most shit is probably on the right way. Like most things are probably pretty good, because they wouldn't be like, if they had something else than arguing over 2 centimeters or saying that I'm a short guy, if they don't have anything else, that's a good thing, I think. And also, like, it's funny because I'm sitting here right now defending myself, saying, hey, I'm not really that short. Like, people who meet me in reality, no one perceives me as short. No one. like no one perceives me as short. Now, I may have a certain way of carrying myself that changes things, because I know other people with the same height as me who people do view as short, right? So it's like, but who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit, man? Okay, like, okay, bro, you got a small dick, or okay, bro, you're short, or okay, bro, you got an ugly face, like whatever, like shit, you can't change that. Some things you can't change nowadays, but hey, like, wouldn't that be like the craziest fucking insecurity if I like made surgeries to make myself taller? Or like if I decided like, hey, I need to change my fucking nose or something because I did looks max and I realized like my nose is ugly. Listen, bro, that is one of the nice things of getting older. Now I'm still very, very young, like 30 years old. I'm still a puppy, but it's time for puppy to grow up. And now the way I see it is like, hey, like why should you walk around with stupid insecurities, right? And you always, like, the way you view yourself is different from how other people view you. And hey, fuck the insecurities. So now I'm shifting focus to health and longevity. Now I'm not, just to be very clear, I don't want to lose my muscle. I'm gonna do everything I can to keep as much muscle as possible. But now I will focus on getting leaner and getting better looking, and not looking like, try to look like a freak. And also, like, there is no reason for me to blast a bunch of gear anymore. There just isn't. So yeah, that's the end of this. I hope you liked the video. I hope you subscribe to the channel. And I do appreciate all the support that I can get, so it means a lot to me if you subscribe. It's been rough for the YouTube channel. It's been rough, so I appreciate the support. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.